Okay, my students want to say hello again.
Hello!
Alright, so now we're looking at a nonagon with 9 sides. That's what it's called. It's called a nonagon. The edge angles of the nonagon are angles on the outside of each vertex. They are shaded in grey. So these ones up here, that are, or all of those that are shaded in grey, those are all nonagons. The ones that I'm now colouring in red, because red is just that much better than grey. Okay. How large is each edge angle in a regular nonagon? Well, in order for us to work that out, we need to work out what the inside of a nonagon angle is. Okay, and to do that, there's two things we can do. We can either divide it up into lots of triangles, okay, and count up the triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so then the internal angles are 7 times 180. And then how would I work out one of the angles? If there's 9 angles. Yep, divide by 9. So that's one way to do it. There's another way using a formula. What is it?
180.
Yep.
N minus 2.
Okay, so n minus 2 times 180. Alright, and so that would be 9 minus 2, which is 7, times 180. And then we'd divide that by 9 as well to give us the same result. Now if you do that, what's the answer you get? Got my calculator here, I'll look it up.
Once it's divided by 9.
Yeah, so 7 times 180 divided by 9?
140.
Yeah, 140. So each of those angles are 140. So we'll say each interior angle equals 140 degrees. And so that makes it really easy to work out one of the edge angles. So edge angle equals 360 minus 140. And what is it?
220.
Yep, 220. And our reason?
Because angles around the point equal 360
Yep.
degrees.
Okay, so angles at point equal 360 degrees. Okay, so that one's nice and easy. The next one's taking it to another step, and it's asking us to show that the edge angles of any sided polygon is this formula here, 180 times n minus 1. Times n plus 2. So let's just think about what we did for our nonagon before. We timesed it by 7, or times 180 by 7, and then divided it by 9. So if we look at our formula, we took n minus 2 times 180, and then in terms of n, what did we divide it by? 9. So what's 9 in terms, like the number of sides? So we actually divided it by n. So for this question here, all we need to really write is n minus 2 times 180 divided by n. And that will give us one of the angles. Yep.
Why divided by n?
That will give us one of the angles.
Yeah.
And then how did we find the outside angle after that? We did something with 360.
We minus 140.
Yep, so we went 360 minus this angle. Okay. Now they're asking for the total of all of the edge angles. So this formula that I've got here at the moment, that's finding the total or that's finding one of the edge angles. So I'd actually have to times this by something for it to be all of the angles. N. So I'm going to times it by n. So that first step there is the hardest part of your work from a geometry point of view. The rest of this is algebra. We need to simplify it until it looks like 180 plus n, or times n plus 2. Yep.
Why do you have 360 minus 11?
Because that gives us one of the outside points, and then by timesing it by 9, that gives us all of the outside points.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes?
What exactly is the question asking?
The question is asking us to show that all of these, grey shaded angles on the outside add up to this formula if we're looking at a polygon with any sides. So not just 9-sided, it could have n number of sides. Okay? Alright, so from here we are exercising algebra, so we'll expand our bracket. So we've got 360 times n. What's that? What's 360 times n?
368.
Okay. And then we've got all of this thing times n. So you've got to divide by n and then a times by n.
Would it just be the same?
So it just cancels out. Okay. And then we're left with what's on top. So n minus 2 times 180. So when we're trying to simplify stuff and we've got different terms together and we've got brackets in there, what do we usually do?
What?
I've got this expression, it has brackets in it. What do you usually do? Expand. So I've got n times 180 and negative 2 times 180. So we're going to have 360n minus n times 180. How do I write n times 180?
180.
Yep, 180n. Minus negative 2 times 180. Negative 360. Is it negative 360? Minus negative 2? Positive 360. Okay. Alright, so let's collect our like terms. So I've got 360n minus 180n. What's that going to be?
180.
Yep. 180n plus 360. Okay. And now I'll just go back to the initial question and see how it compares with what we've got. So my first question, or the question that we've been given, wants us to write something with brackets in it. So I need to put this answer into brackets. So what's the common factor here?
180.
180. Okay. So 180 times n will give us 180n plus 2. And that's what the question wanted us to show. Okay. Have I talked to you guys about QED?
No.
Quod erat demonstrandum?
No.
What was to be demonstrated? It's what you use at the end of a proof. So you've just proven that the number of those edge angles is 180 times n plus 2.
Do you write that when you've got your
No, it's just fun to write that.
fun?
Yeah,
But just
Yeah.
letters.
yeah. But very important letters.
Oh,
Okay.
You're a maths teacher, don't you?
That's right. Okay, and on that note, we'll just stop that video.